Good morning again. Hi, my name is Jennifer Waters. I am part of the CNY Fertility team. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, and I'm very happy to be here today. I hope everybody's having a good day so far. Don't you just love this time of year? I guess if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's so beautiful. We have really everything in full bloom of summer, and everybody's decided, I think, whatever you wanted to do this summer that you haven't done yet, you better do it now, because we're getting towards the favorite time of the year for me, which is late summer, which is in Chinese medicine connected to the spleen in the stomach, my favorite personal organ meridian system. I can't help it because it's related to food and digestion. So anyhow, today I want to talk about, so I'm doing a short series on the 4 phases of your menstrual cycle and what can you do to support yourself during each phase. So last week we talked about the menstrual phase, cycle days 1 to 5-ish. And today I'm going to just talk briefly about the follicular phase. I like that word a lot, follicular phase. I like this phase a lot because it's mostly associated with egg quality is what we're always focused on, right? Instead of quantity. And it's just an amazing process when you really dive into this part of your cycle. It's just incredible what the body does. I'm just in awe of everything. I've been in practice a long time, and I am really going back to the beginning of my original studies in Chinese medicine and really looking at the classics. And I want to take a moment to just really honor our ancestors. I think we forget, I know I have, how much time, how much history, how many people have invested their lives in evolving the wisdom of this medicine. And right now I'm thinking of traditional Chinese medicine, but we could apply that to anything. Western medicine, allopathic, Ayurvedic, you name it, naturopathic. It's incredible. The people that have devoted their lives and really received information about how the body works, which is still a mystery. Let's face it. There's so much we know. There's so much we don't know, especially in the fertility world. We wish it was all science. We wish it was all related to your labs, your blood work, your AMH, your FSH. But it's not. There's more to it than that. And so I've been really going back and looking at some of the classics and seeing how they understand some of the nuances of the body, in particular the gallbladder, which I'm going to be talking more and more about because it's amazing. It is, and I'm going to get to the subject here in a minute. I just want to say one thing about the gallbladder, which, the liver gets all the attention, right? We're always talking about liver detox, supporting the liver, moving the liver blood, liver qi. And the gallbladder in Chinese medicine is actually considered to be an extraordinary organ. It's part of the curious organs. So is the brain. So our ancestors decided that this organ was so special that it is in the same category as the brain. And its functions are not just what you think. So we're going to dive into that in the future. So today, though, let's talk about the follicular phase. Okay, so this is approximately from cycle day 5 to right a day or two before ovulation. But a good question, if you don't have a gallbladder, there is an energetic imprint of the gallbladder, and you have to support your liver to create enough quantity and quality bile. This is like the liquid gold inside your digestive system. Anyways, so back to the follicular phase. Some of the texts say that the follicular phase really begins on day 1. Remember, whatever phase you're in, you're already preparing for the next phase. Think of it in terms of the season. So right now we're in late summer, we're preparing for fall. How do we do that? Through nutrition, through awareness, through lifestyle practices. So even though we say the follicular phase begins from approximately day 5, it really starts on day 1 because we're preparing for that, experience, that physiological phenomena. Um, but this is when approximately, from day 5 to between 8 and 14 is when the follicles develop. Now, remember, everybody knows that women are born with a finite number of eggs, the cells that create eggs, which is, I guess, one person, I'm trying to remember the author, who said, maybe that's not true. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to think about. What if that were not true? How would that change the way we think about ovulation and fertility? But anyways, my main interest is, okay, so you have this finite number of eggs. There's things that you can do to damage those cells, and there's things that you can do to protect them. And I do believe that there's things that you can do to increase the quality of them, to prevent the damage and possibly repair damage. Why not? If this is how we're designed, the body's designed to heal itself, then of course this is possible. I see miracles occur all the time in the clinic and in life. So, okay, so this is the time, the follicular phase is the time to nourish your blood in yin. So most of you are well educated. You've heard the terms yin and yang. Yin, often people think, oh, it's the fluid aspect. It's the feminine side. Yang is the masculine side. It's the fluid aspect of the body, whereas the functional aspect is more yang. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. It's a little hard to translate directly into English, but we'll do what we can. So this is the time to build your blood, nourish yin. What does that mean? So at the end of your cycle, you're in a fairly blood deficient state, right? So you've lost blood, which is what the cycle is about. And now you need to start rebuilding. So remember, we're always going for quality. We want quantity, but we want quality blood, right? How do we have quality blood? Well, stop eating poison. That's the first thing. And do the targeted micronutrients that are going to help you to have the most high quality blood possible. And for me, I always incorporate phototherapy is just going to make everything work better. How well you're digesting, how the cells are functioning. Remember, we are biochemical. We are also bioelectrical. So light is working on the electrical side of our beings. So remember, it is what you eat that makes your blood. So you want to be eating highest quality food possible. This isn't just about avoiding pesticide-laden fruits and veggies, right? You also have to be aware of the seed oils that are often rancid in prepared foods. Even I was looking at, I buy this organic hummus, don't tell anyone, from Trader Joe's. And I mean, I love Trader Joe's, don't get me wrong, but looking at the ingredients, it's organic. What does that mean? Well, it means now they have seed oils in there that I personally do not want to be eating. So you really have to become savvy, read the labels. Remember, if you can't pronounce it, denounce it. Don't eat things you can't pronounce. It's not going to help you, especially when it comes to creating high quality blood. We have to fix our guts so that you are absorbing the nutrients. If you have the most perfect diet, but you're loaded with digestive plaque and dysbiosis, you're not going to be absorbing those nutrients well. So we want to fix our guts. So another thing about yin, so this time of the cycle, we're nourishing blood, we're nourishing yin. So I want you to think of this. Yin is not hydration. People often say to me, oh, I drink lots of water, so there's no way I could have a deficiency of yin. But I want you to think the difference between urine and cervical mucus, okay? Urine is a reflection of hydration. Cervical mucus would be more of a reflection of the yin aspect, right? So this fluid aspect that is important for us, especially when it comes to the ovulatory phase, you need that cervical mucus. All of the blood tests in the world are not going to encourage you to create more cervical mucus. So you need the slip and slide, especially if you're trying to conceive naturally. And it's our indicator of what's going on inside you and how can we best support you. So we nourish the blood and yin in order to strengthen and fill what's called the chong and the renmai. These are meridians. These are called the extraordinary or the spiritual meridians of the body, which have a fascinating history. And it's so interesting when we look at how our ancestors understood the body and understood what we can actually facilitate using the meridians, whether you're using acupuncture needles or you're using magnets or you're using pressure or light or heat in the form of moxibustion. It is amazing the scope and the depth of what can occur physiologically just by activating these channels in your body, the chong and the ren. So they say this is the time to promote the rise of estrogen, which is going to help with the egg follicles. And also, this is the time you are preparing to rebuild your perfectly healthy, thick uterine lining. So another part that's maybe the most important part of this, if you really think about it, is the heart aspect. So we have a lot of focus on the uterus and the ovaries, but what really is in charge of all of that going smoothly, going well, asymptomatically, is our heart. And in Chinese medicine, the heart, which is the spirit, the house of the spirit, which is our mind, our emotions, our thinking, is in direct communication with the uterus, and it's called the bao mai, this physiological connection. So if you were having insomnia, anxiety, you're grinding your teeth a lot, this is a sign that your heart, you have a bit of a heart shunt disturbance, and we want to address that first. And sometimes just by fixing that, everything else will come into play. It's kind of a cascading effect. And often we think of healing the body from the top down, especially in the endocrine system. We really want to look at the pituitary and hypothalamus. Then we look at the thyroid. Then we look at the spleen, pancreas. Then we get to the ovaries. And oftentimes, just by fixing the pituitary gland, boom, 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 everything else is going to line up and work perfectly, which is what we like. So one thing to pay attention to, do you have brown discharge at the end of your cycle? So cycle days between 4 and 6. If you have brown discharge, you've heard me say this before, you need to do a little detox of your uterus to make sure that old endometrium is completely emptying out, so that you're making way. It's sort of like sweeping the floor so that your new lining is going to be more stable, if that makes sense. We want out with the old, in with the new. So, trying to not say, vaggie steaming, yoni steaming is one good way to do that. And I have information on my blog for that. There's the Korean spas, there's one in Manhattan, and probably other places that do that. And it's really easy, wonderful way to take care of yourself. So we talked about this. Oh, one thing is I want to remind you that when your egg is released into your follicle, that follicular fluid is a microcosm for the health of your whole body. It is a representation of your past, present, and future, right? How well are you detoxifying? Do you have heavy metals floating around in there? All of this is going to cause cellular damage immediately. Have you been eating a diet full of glyphosate? That will be reflected in your follicular fluid, right? It's kind of amazing. So the more we can clean up our terrain through purification practices and detoxifying, the better off we are going to be. We are creating a perfect, healthy environment so that when the egg is released, it is well received and well supported to go on its journey. And it is quite a journey. So, terrain theory, I could go on and on and on, but I'm not going to because I don't have time. I'm rushing off to the clinic right now. So, okay, thank you, Candace. I'm going to put my information out there. My website is jenniferwaters.net. And you can email me. You can reach out to me. I promise I will do my best to get back to everybody. I think we've been doing decently. And have a wonderful day. I hope that this was beneficial. Remember, take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. We are one. That is not a metaphor, okay? That is a reality. We are connected to each other. So be kind and care.